All right, Super Bowl 55. Here it is, finally upon us. And I'll be honest, I've not watched any of the coverage. I don't know who's hurt, who might play, who might not play. I'm assuming everyone's going to give it a go. The only thing I've heard is that a bunch of Chiefs were supposed to get haircuts, and then they told the guy while he was cutting hair that he had tested positive for COVID. So that's the only thing I've heard. It's obviously, this is one of the few matchups you get Super Bowl history. And listen, everyone looks at the Super Bowl, through the quarterbacks. Those are the guys that define these games. And you have a clear legacy game here. You get Tom Brady playing at the 10th Super Bowl, which is, I mean, think about that for a second. Guy's going to play in 10 Super Bowls. I mean, and if he wins, he's going to have more Super Bowl wins than any other franchise has. I mean, it's just, it really is crazy what that guy has done. And then you get Pat Mahomes, obviously, defending Super Bowl champs, defending Super Bowl MVP, former MVP of the league. I mean, it's just, you get so few of these matchups that that whoever wins this game, it's going to, define them. Every year they say, "Oh, this is for this guy's legacy," blah blah blah. But this one is one of those ones where it truly is. This will be a marker for both these guys' careers. Because who knows? I mean, this might not even be Tom Brady's last Super Bowl. I mean, they did 4 Super Bowls ago. You were like, "Oh, this could be Tom Brady's last Super Bowl." And it's not. The guy's going to 10. I mean, who knows? The guy could go to 15. I mean, we don't know. But again, this is one of these games, and you think back Super Bowl history. Some of these games you knew going in, like this was gonna, change the league going forward, and sometimes you didn't know it at the time, but looking back, you could see that things would have been a lot different if the other team had won. I mean, obviously you go all the way back Super Bowl III, Joe Namath telling everybody they were going to win. They did, obviously, change football, blah, blah, blah. Of course, if they don't win that game, who knows what happens, with the AFL. I mean, eventually they would have won, I suppose. But, that was obviously one of the first, big legacy Super Bowls. You think about Super Bowl 13, Cowboys and Steelers. Bradshaw and Staubach. Both of those guys had won 2 going into that one. And whoever got this one was going to win 3 and be team of the decade. And, think about how you would look at those teams differently had the Cowboys won that game. Obviously, Montana Marino is the big one, from Super Bowl 19. And, again, they were the 2 best young QBs at the time. Montana had already won one. Marino had broken all kinds of records that year. And, again, if the Dolphins win that Super Bowl, think about how those guys' careers look a lot different. Super Bowl 22, Doug Williams, first black quarterback to start a Super Bowl against John Elway, who was probably considered the best quarterback in the game at the time, and was expected to win the game. And you think about how those legacies would have been different had the Broncos won that game. Super Bowl 34, Kurt Warner and Steve McNair. Again, at the time, they were both kind of surprise teams, but McNair, he's almost a forgotten guy now. Tragically he's passed away. But think about how his career would have been looked at completely different had the Titans won that game, and had the Rams lost, and how that would have affected Kurt Warner's legacy. Would Kurt Warner be a Hall of Famer if they don't win that game and doesn't complete that dream season? Super Bowl 42, of course, the Patriots undefeated against the Giants, who played them tough in the last regular season game. Again, and this one is going to be one of those games, Mahomes and Brady. Because look, Brady's the greatest of all time. I mean, you can't really argue it now. The guy's been in 10 Super Bowls. And Mahomes, one day might be the greatest of all time. He's still very young in his career. But the thing is that if Mahomes can't beat Brady here, then how can he ever lay claim to being the greatest of all time when he can't? He doesn't beat Brady in the Super Bowl. So it's a big game. It's a big matchup. It's a legacy-defining matchup, and we'll see. Listen, everyone expects that we're in the middle of a potential Chiefs dynasty, but you got to get that second one. Before you start taking that seriously, you got to get that second one, because there were a lot of guys in the last 25, 30 years that you thought were going to be the guy, and this was going to be the next dynasty, and it never happened. Again, I'll go all the way back to Marino. Marino lost that game, but everyone was like, "Hey, he'll be back. He's going to have plenty of chances." Never got back to the Super Bowl. There was a time when, Brady, obviously, when he first came on the scene. No one was expecting a New England dynasty, let alone the guy going to 10 Super Bowls in 20 years. But there was a time when. Maybe Drew Brees, when they won the Super Bowl. Maybe now it's the Saints' turn, and it didn't happen. Aaron Rodgers the next year, the Packers are going to be, the team of the decade going forward. They're going to be the next dynasty. Didn't happen. Never got back to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson. There was a time when Russell Wilson was considered the next best QB of the next NFL dynasty. They won one, they got back to the Super Bowl, and then they didn't win, and they haven't been back since. So we'll see if Mahomes is really the guy here. If he wins this game, then they're on their way. But he's got to win the game, and it's getting that second one is hard. Not a lot of people have done it. You haven't gone back to back in almost 20 years. It's hard to get that second one. But in any event, it's going to be a great ball game. Of course, Tampa Bay can put up points. Obviously, the Chiefs' offense, we know how great they are. But I'm taking the Chiefs. I think, and listen, are the Chiefs the next dynasty? Is Mahomes really the next great quarterback? Maybe he is. Maybe we're in the middle of 5 straight Super Bowls with the Chiefs, and we just don't know it yet. It's just. You don't know. History hasn't been written yet, and these guys have the opportunity to do that Sunday. I think the Chiefs will win. I just think they are legit. They can't be stopped. Yeah, Tampa can hang with them points wise, but it's just going to take a monumental effort from guys that have not been on this stage before. And I know Brady has, obviously, but listen, Brady's lost a couple Super Bowls, so he's certainly vulnerable. And listen, the Tampa Bay's got a lot of turnovers in the playoffs. And again, that's what you do. That's how you win championships typically. And that's led to a lot of the points that they've scored. But are they going to be able to turn over the Chiefs? I just don't see it. They're just too talented. And Mahomes can do things that we haven't seen a lot of guys do. So again, I think it'll be a great game. But listen, the Chiefs might roll on them. Brady comes out and has a big hit. But here's the thing. Every single Tom Brady Super Bowl has basically been a one-possession game, minus the 13-3 defensive game you had a couple years ago. So Tom Brady plays close Super Bowls. So maybe this one goes down to the wire. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs run away with this one, because I just think that they're just too good. And again, these guys on Tampa, besides Brady, they haven't been on the stage before. And I think, that does play a part in it. But I'll take the Chiefs. We'll see you Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully none of these guys wake up with COVID Sunday morning. I think everyone's kind of like sweeping that under the rug as if that, I know these guys are probably being extra careful this week, but man, you don't want to be that guy that wakes up Super Bowl Sunday and has a positive test, and you got to live with that. So hopefully everyone is healthy and we get the game on, and we'll see you on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday.